Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to present to you the Nuage Network solution. Okay, and we're going to work with the virtualized service directory, the VSD, and the policy directory if you like. And this VSD has a GUI interface called the architect, as you can see here. I'm connected to this IP address, okay, and that's the port we need to enter to access it, 8443. Right, so username, the default one is CSP root, the password is also CSP root, and the organization is CSP, the cloud service provider. Okay, that's the only one created by default. Okay, so we're going to log into it. As you can see, I have one organization on the left-hand side, or one tenant if you like. I'm going to click at the bottom left-hand side here on the plus sign to create a new one. I'm going to call it organization 1. Okay, one thing you need to be aware is case sensitive, so whatever you type here later I'm going to use it, and I need to be the same case. So I'll keep everything simple, everything lowercase. The other thing I'm going to enter is the administrator password. I'm going to use a CSP root just to keep it simple. Of course, don't use that. The other thing just above, you could use a LDAP directory, a lightweight directory. I'm not going to use it, but of course most of the enterprise will recommend to use that. So I'm going to click on create, and I can select my organization, organization number 1. Okay, click here. As you can see at the very top here, you have the dashboard. That's what I have here. Alarms on my left, right here. And then you have the list of users. Is only one, the admin. Group users, 3 by default, and I'm going to show you that very shortly. The domain has been created. Well, none at the moment, but layer 3 domain, layer 2 domain. A virtual machine have been attached to those domains, none of them. Floating IP address, I didn't use any yet. Okay, and containers, obviously I didn't create anything, but that's a nice and quick way to see everything you have in your network, or the tenants network I should say. Then you have the network. That's where we're going to spend most of the time. You can have some application here, infrastructure, the one restricted to this tenant in particular, not the full infrastructure of the data center obviously, and some setting, and that's where I would like to start. I'm going to create a user. First one is going to be my designer. Okay, over here you should enter the real name and first name, last name, and so on. What is very important is the username. That's the one we're going to use later on to log in. Okay, also case sensitive, obviously. An IP address, designer at org1.net. And the password CSP root. CSP root. I'm using the same password to keep it simple. Right, so I'm going to create one user. It's called designer. Of course, its function will be to design domains, templates, and so on. We're going to look at it later. Another one I would like to use is app user. Okay, obviously that's the user I'm going to use to create virtual machine and attach them, or application if you like, and attach them to the domain we're going to create. Okay, so app user, org1.net, CSP root, CSP root. Okay, so I created 2 new users. One I call designer, and the other one app user, and the one has been created at the creation time of the organization admin. Now I'm going to create groups, and the reason we create groups is because we're going to allow functionalities later on. We're going to give permissions to groups, not to users. Okay, so administrator, well, I'm going to have admin obviously in it. I could have the other one, which is everybody, so that include all the user. And if I wanted to give a permission to everybody, of course everybody could do anything. Network design, usually we're going to restrict those users to create. Okay, And the last one, which doesn't exist here, so I'm going to click on the plus at the bottom left hand side and create app user. Okay. This one I'm going to add app user. Okay, so I created user, I created an organization first, and then I created user, as you can see here, and groups. Now I could log out, and I can use either my admin, okay, CSP root, and my organization is organization number 1. Okay, or you can use a designer and give a specific permission to this designer to create. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back very soon.